Hi everyone, in the last video for this page I did all of the detail that you can see, the lamppost and the flame and things like that. So if you haven't seen that one and you want to watch it, go back and I will hopefully remember to link to it in the description or in a link at the top of the video or somewhere. Go back and find it and watch it, and then come back to this one after, because this is the second part. So I'm going to colour in the details. I'm not going to do background or the floor. I'm just going to do the flower and the bird and the signposts. So I'm going to start with the flower. We've got a Castle Arts again, and I pondered and thought, what colour should we do? And I'm just going to do it nice, my favourite colours. Why not? So I'm going to start with the Purple Lake Deep. This is my favourite Castle Arts purple, and we're going to use it for the centre. I'm just going to show you a little technique we can do. Let's give it a sharpen. Okay, so I'm going to go around the edge first with lots of layers. I hope you can see. So I'm just going over and over again around the edge, and then I'm going to reduce my layers as I come in towards the centre of the flower, and hopefully that will show up. You'll be able to see that there's a difference in colour between the different parts. There we go. It's a bit, hang on, should we zoom in a bit more for you? Maybe that'll help. There we go. So the idea is to try and get it looking darker all the way around the edge and a bit lighter in the middle. And I think I have now achieved that. Now the petals are going to be a slightly different colour. I was thinking maybe more of a pinky purple might work nicely. I do rather like, whoops, this colour, which is actually called, no, not that one, she is lying, this one, which is just called purple, but it's a nice pinky purple colour. And I'm not going to use it on the entire leaf, petal. I'm just going to use it on the centre part here. So I want quite a lot here, quite a lot of layers, and then fade it out towards the edge of the petal. So quite a lot here, and then fade it out. And we do the same on every one. Now we have got dots and lines on these, and I'm not going to ignore that. I was just thinking I could go over it with a white Posca, but then I've just remembered that I think this colour goes pink, like neon pink, when you put a white pen on it. So maybe I won't do that. Now really near to the centre, I want it significantly darker than it is. So I'm just looking for a colour that I can darken it up with. And I'm thinking that the Prussian blue might just work. And what I want to do is just around here, I just want a bit more depth to my flower. And then I'm going to pop that away, come back to my purple and work over that Prussian blue a little bit, just to make it look more like shadow rather than blue. There we go. And now I'm going to take my Purple Light, whoops, if it lets me grab it out of the box, Purple Light, to take the colour to the edge of the petals, like this. I'm going to leave a little white layer on the very edge. You don't have to, but I'm going to leave it and see whether I like it when I'm done. I may decide that I don't. We'll see. Yeah, I think I do. I'm just going to darken some of this up a bit and just blend it in a bit. I don't need it massively dark all the way through, but I just want it to look darker nearer to the middle. You can burnish this down with a burnisher or a white or a lighter pink if you want to, but I quite like that look to it. That bit there, it needs a bit more colour. There we go. So that's my flower. As I said, I was thinking of doing some white, but I think I'm going to leave it because I don't want it going neon pink. So I'm just going to leave it like that. And now we have our leaves. I think I'm only going to show you one because actually I'm being quite slow. I haven't got loads of time, so I'm going to just show you one leaf and we'll do them all the same. So I will use the, yes, that's the one I want, the hooker's green to do part of the leaf, and I will do the base part darker. So I'm going to put in quite a few layers of the hooker's green at the bottom and then fade it up like that. Okay, and then grab the phthalo green, to finish it off. Again, it needs to sharpen, and I'm going to go over the whole thing because this hooker's green isn't quite as bluey as I wanted. So if I go over it with this phthalo green, which is more bluey, it'll not only blend it, but it'll change that colour a little bit for me, and it will look how I want it to look. There we go. So that's a simple leaf. You can keep working it until you get the blend and the texture that you want, but that's me. Okay, we have the signposts. Now my idea was for the signposts was to take two colours and merge them together. I did initially think, oh, I get like the flags, so I'll do like London in red, white and blue and things like that. And then I decided, and Paris would also be red, white and blue. And I decided I didn't know any of the other flags. And also that would be quite difficult to merge blue and red without making purple. So I forgot that whole idea. And what I'm actually going to do is do them all the same with just 3 colours. And I'll show you one, and then you can maybe do the others on your own, because if it takes up too much time, I'll see how it goes. So the colours, I mean, we've got pink here and green, and we've got the flame there, so it doesn't really need to sort of match in with anything. I'm going to do the bird blue, so I think I'm going to do sort of red. Yeah, let's do red and orange, I think. So I have got the Vermillion, which is the really dark red here, Vermillion, and I'm going to blend it into, what's that? Maybe, yes, oops, maybe the red ochre, which is an orangey red. So I'm going to start with the Vermillion. I'm going to do the same with every one. So I will start with it on the inside of the sign. Okay. And pop quite a layer down, starting thicker here and then starting to reduce it. Remembering we're going to want to get about halfway through, we will have an even mix of each colour. So you want to take your colour slightly beyond halfway, like that. Now you notice I have left the brim because I'm going to do, a lot of them have got a frame that's going to be in different colour. These ones that have got the word open, I'm just going to write it and colour it in black so they all match, because these are all coloured, the others are all coloured in black. Actually this is not that orangey, it's quite red, but I think it will blend better because of that, so that's good. So quite a hard layer to start with, and then start to reduce it and blend it in to the other colour. So we overlap it quite a lot. Okay. Now this technique you can use for blending any colour, so if you want to change your colours you can try it. Obviously some colours blend better than others. Quite difficult. I'm going back in with my Vermillion. It's quite difficult to blend some colours that are quite far away from each other. So if you've got ones that are similar, it's easier. They work well better together. I don't know if this is even going to look much like there's two different colours. I'm actually going to grab my orange. This is the Cadmium Orange, and go over it in the middle or across the right hand side with the orange to just make it look like it's a different colour on this side to that side. So pink and purple blend well together, but purple and orange, quite difficult. So there we go. It's actually, crikey, I'm just thinking Amsterdam red light district. Push those thoughts away. All the signs are going to be the same colour, so hopefully you won't think that when you see it. So that's how I'm doing it. I think it might have been prettier had I done it pink and purple like the flower, but I didn't want to do them all use all the same colours. So that's how I've done the sign, and I'm just, as I said, the others will be the same. Now the outline I'm going to do in black, like the name. So that's that. Now we have our little bird. We're going to finish with our bird. A very cute little bird. I'm going to grab some blues for my bird, a blue bird. Now, I think I will start with this Delft Blue. It's a pretty colour. And mark out the areas where I think it should be a little bit darker. So down at the bottom there'll be some shadow. So that's our first slightly darker area. So what I'm trying to do is fade that dark colour out so that it will blend into the next blue that we used. Okay, and with the tail feathers, so I want them darker here and then lighter towards the tips. I think they would have some shadow where they meet the body. Okay, now I'm thinking about these wings. Here we're sort of, this one's a bit further behind, so I think it's going to generally be a little bit darker, further away. So we'll make that all a bit darker, and this one will just make it a little bit darker here maybe. And just fade that up, but not all the way, so it's not quite as dark as the other one. Okay, we'll try that for now, see how that works out. And my other blue that I'm going to use is the Indigo Light. And so I'm going to go back over these dark areas and emphasise that shadow, but to take the colour all the way across the white paper this time. I don't know if this is lighter or darker than the colour we've just used, but anyway, I think it works quite well. I'm not going to use this colour on the whole bird though, just for the wings and the tail, and I think I'll do the body in a slightly different blue. I think it will look nice. You can decide what you think when I'm done. Sorry, my hand's getting in the way, isn't it? I can hear dustbins being moved around, perhaps being put away. I have to go and do mine in a minute. They've been emptied. Okay, so there is that part, and I think I'm going to grab the Ultramarine to do the body, and we'll see how it works. So again, like I did with the other bits, I'm going to go over these darker areas first and fade upwards, so we can still see that light and dark area. It just makes it look a little more shapely, I think. I'm not sure what to do with the cheek there. I'm just going to leave it for now. So I want it to look definitely darker down here than it does towards the top. I want to blend that in so it doesn't, it's not an obvious sort of shadow line, as it were. You can just sort of keep fiddling until you're happy that it looks to your satisfaction. Now there are birds throughout this book, but I have decided to colour them differently each time, not the same. With the cheek, I'm going to go actually for a lighter, maybe not that light. Here we go. Cerulean Blue Light. Ooh! I'm just going to, I'm not using my pencil case, and so I'm nearly knocking them on the floor. Let's do the cheek. There it is. So there is the bird. Now I'm going to go away and finish that. So let me just zoom out to remind you. So the bird is done. Happy bird. So I'm going to do those leaves. Even these little bits will be in the same colours, and the signs. Now down here, just do what you want. It's interesting because we've got different leaves, we've got hearts, we've got snow, we've got berries and roses. It's quite a big combo of different bits and bobs. We've also got this ground, which I can show you what I'm going to do. Let me just put my pencils in my pencil case. Right, that's better. Now I've got some space. Okay, so for the ground, I would have thought about doing grey, but I'm going to use the Davy's grey because it's a very different shade. And my idea was to just do this around the cobbles in the grey, like this. So I'm just got the pencil on its side and I'm doing quite a rough horizontal texture. Now, because I'm not doing too much of a background, I'm not going to go around them too much above that. I'm not going to go above these top ones because I don't want to go all the way up. I don't want to do a whole background, be too much. I don't think it really needs it. You may completely disagree with me. Go on, do one if you want. I find these odd because they're sort of up a bit high, but well, that's okay. I do like a cobble. I do like colouring stones, so it should be fun. And now for each cobble, I want them to stand out a little bit. So what I will do for each is put a little bit of shadow under each one like that, and maybe up the sides as well. Okay, I'm not going to do it on all of them now, but hopefully you can see. I can't really zoom in or else we're going to lose the bottom of the page, so that's about all I can do. So I've gone under and round a little bit. But to colour in the stone, try to have a think, because I don't want it the same grey as the lamppost. I don't have another grey in this set. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab this really dark brown, which is burnt umber. I'm going to go a very light application over the cobble, and then I'm going to get my Davy's grey again, and I'm going to decide where it's going to be darker and lighter. So I've got to hold the book down, it's monster. So I'm going to do it darker around there and then lighter towards the middle, like that. So it's almost the same colour as the background with a bit of shading on it, but because it's more intense colour, it looks different. And you can do that with all of them. Do them the same, or you could do them slightly different darkness or lightnesses if you don't want them all identical. Now if you find your shadow isn't showing up enough underneath, you could do that in a darker colour. You could do that in the burnt umber, or you could do, I will probably do it in a black so it really shows up, but be careful, add light layers or else you may regret it. So that's what I'm going to do with my cobbles. You know what I'm doing with my signs. So I'm going to stop the video, I'm going to get on with that and finish it, and then take a photo for you. So hopefully at the end, if I remember, I have been known not to, hopefully at the end I will put you a finished picture of the whole lamppost. So I hope that was useful and gave you some ideas. You may have thought, oh, I'm not going to do it her way, but even so, it's still an idea, isn't it? So thank you so much for watching, and happy colouring.